let us recall some important points related to friction. So, the first point I want to discuss is about limiting friction. We know that if there is a horizontal surface and a block is kept on it, and the horizontal surface is rough, it has some coefficient of friction value. Now, the friction that develops between these two objects, one that is ground and the block, has a maximum value limit. We call that as limiting friction. And how do you calculate limiting friction? It depends on the normal reaction between the contact surfaces and you multiply it with the mu, that is coefficient of friction. So, calculating normal reaction properly is very important. So, let us discuss some cases where we have to calculate normal reaction. Okay, let us start with this example. Here, if you draw the free body diagram, this is weight of the object and there is a normal reaction from the ground it experiences. These are the only two forces acting on the block. So, normal reaction upwards minus mg is equal to 0 because the block is in equilibrium. Now, how do you calculate it? In this case, the normal reaction that develops is equal to the weight of the object. So, the maximum friction you can have here is mu mg. Let us discuss another case. There is a lift which is accelerating upwards with acceleration a, and in this lift a block is placed and the floor is rough. So, here you want to calculate the limiting friction at this contact surface. Where is the contact surface? The bottom surface of the block where it is touching the lift. So, now you have to draw the free body diagram of the block. Since the block is accelerating with the lift, the acceleration the block possesses is also a. Now, identify the forces acting on the block, the normal reaction from the lift, the surface of the lift, and the gravitational force weight acts on the body. So, now since it is accelerating upwards with acceleration a, how do you write the equation for second law, Newton's second law? The force net is equal to mass into acceleration. Now, this gives you normal reaction as mg plus a. In this case, as you see, the normal reaction is greater than the previous case, which is mg. Now, the friction is also higher. The limiting friction value is larger now. These two objects will develop a larger friction, but it does not mean that there is friction acting on this block in this moment. The limiting friction value is the maximum value of friction you can have at a contact surface. Based on the situation, the friction developing will have this maximum value. It cannot develop larger than that. Let us discuss another case where we have two blocks B, A. Now, there are two surfaces here, two contact surfaces, one between A and B and another between B and the ground. Now, let us say both are rough and value of coefficient of static friction is mu 1 and mu 2. This is contact surface 1 and this is contact surface 2. Let us draw the free body diagrams. there is a contact force developing between A and B. I will mark it as N1. According to Newton's third law, the force acting on A is also equal to force acting on B in magnitude, and also the normal reaction from ground N2. I have marked 1 and 2 indicating that they are normal reactions for the surface contact surface 1, and this is from contact surface 2. We have waves. Now from this, because the blocks are in equilibrium, N1 minus MAG equals 0, and also N2 minus N1 downwards minus MBG equals 0. So from this we can calculate that N1 equals MAG and N2 equals N1 plus MB, but N1 is MAG, so it is MA plus MB into G. Once you have calculated the normal reactions, now we can calculate the limiting friction. For surface contact surface 1, it is mu 1 into the normal reaction present there, and for the surface 2, coefficient of friction for that surface contact surface into MA plus MB into G. So this is how we calculate the limiting friction, and it is very important, and it is an important step while solving most of the problems in friction. So you do not have to make any mistakes here. The few important things to note here are: check whether the bodies are accelerating, like in this case. The normal reaction is not always equal to the weight of the object. You have to observe the situation properly and accordingly find the normal reaction, then limiting friction values. Let us see how friction develops at a contact surface now. I have a block here kept on the ground. The coefficient of friction mu is 0.2, and there is a force acting on it. Now imagine if there is no force. First of all, does the object move? No, it will not. It remains at rest, Newton's first law. So why does the block move? If there is a force applied, if there is no friction at all, we know that there is only one force acting on the block and it should accelerate. But what happens if the surface is rough and there is friction? How does the friction develop, and what would be the acceleration of the block? We know that friction is a self-adjusting force. That means in the situation, the friction acting is not always of same value, it changes. It is of two types, kinetic and static. Now why does the friction develop? The nature of friction is that the friction develops in such a way that at a contact surface, it tries to oppose the relative motion or any tendency for relative motion. Now what do you understand by relative motion? For example, imagine I am keeping the marker on my hand. Let us say the marker is our block here and the ground is my hand. So now if there is no friction, I mean if the surfaces are smooth, if I try to move the marker, it will just slide on my hand. If a force is applied on the block, it will just slide on the surface. Now how does the friction develop here? We see that in ground frame, the block now would move towards right if the force is applied. So how is the relative motion here? as the ground observes, the block will be moving towards right, and friction develops in such a way that it tries to oppose that. That means if it is trying to have a velocity towards right, now the friction acting on the block will be towards left. That is how the friction develops. Now, let us see the case with respect to block. Now, in block's frame, the ground is moving backwards with some velocity. Now, there is a relative motion here. With respect to the block, the ground seems to be going backwards. So, the friction develops on the ground to oppose that. So, on the ground, the friction will be acting towards right. So, that is how friction develops. It tries to oppose the relative motion between the two contact surfaces. Or even if there is no relative motion, even if there is tendency for relative motion, let us say the force is not very strong enough, it is a very weak force. Even if you apply that force, the block has a tendency to move towards right. So, in such case also friction develops, and that will be static in nature. So, let us take an example here. Let us say mass is 10 kg and mu is 0.2. Let us calculate limiting friction now. In this case, limiting friction will be mu mg, that is 0.2 into mass 10 into take acceleration due to gravity as 10. So, this will be 20 newtons. So, what do you understand from this? The maximum value of friction possible for this contact surface is 20 newtons. It does not mean that this force is now acting on the block. It does not mean the friction present is of this value. The maximum value is 20 newtons. Now, we have a table here. I am increasing the force gradually. So, let us see what happens. Let us say 5 Newton force is applied on the block. Now, what will be the value of friction acting on this? It will not be 20 newtons, but it will be only of 5 newtons. The friction developed will be only 5 newtons. It is well under the limit 20 newtons, it can provide 5 newtons, so it will only provide 5 newtons just to stop the block. So, let us fill the table. The friction acting will be 5, but in opposite direction. And can you identify, is it static or kinetic? It is static in nature, because there is only tendency of relative motion. Now, what happens if you increase the force? Let us say the force is increased to 10 newtons now. Now, if the friction developing here can have 10 newtons, that friction will be acting on the block to stop it. So, yes, 10 newtons is under the limit. So, the friction developing will be 10 newtons and will stop the block, and it is also still static in nature. And this happens as you increase the force, the friction also keeps on increasing, but up to the limit 20. Now, what happens if you just increase this value? If the force acting on the block is larger than the limiting friction, what happens? The block now slips, it slides, because the friction acting will be only 20 newtons maximum. So, let us see the case here. In such a case, the force F. Now, this is the case when the applied force is greater than the limiting friction. These are all the cases where it is less than the limiting friction. So, now what happens if it is greater than this? The friction that develops here is FL, the maximum value, and it cannot increase more than that. So, applying second law, we can write acceleration as F here, FL. This gives you F minus FL equals m into A. And acceleration is F minus FL by m. You can write it this way. So, this will be the acceleration of the block now. Now, even if you increase the force even further, the acceleration will go on increasing. Let us draw some graphs now. I am drawing a graph, friction developing versus the force applied. So, what happens as you increase the force? What happened earlier? As the force is increasing, the friction is also increasing, and they are also equal. In all these cases, the friction developing is equal to the force applied. So, we have a straight line here, y equals x graph, up to the point where the force acting is equal to limiting friction. Now, beyond that, if you increase the force, what happens? The friction does not increase more than this value. This value is FL. So, now it becomes a constant. The friction developing is a constant value, it cannot increase more than this. So, this is how you get a graph for this. Let us draw acceleration graph. Up to the point where the force is same value as limiting friction. Now, what is the acceleration of the block? Does it move? It was at rest, so it will remain at rest. There is no net acceleration because the forces are cancelling out. So, the acceleration will be 0. Now, if the force is increased beyond FL, it will have an acceleration, and that is given by this equation, y equals mx minus c form. It has a slope, it is a straight line, and the acceleration gradually increases. So, this is how you get graphs for this. To understand so, let us fill our table now completely. So, what happens here if the force is 21? What did you find? The force of friction will be only 20, here also 20, here also 20. It does not increase more than that. Now, acceleration in this case will be 0, here it will be 0, 0 and 0, because the forces are cancelling out. And in this case, the acceleration will be F minus FL by m. FL limiting friction is 20 newtons and the force applied is 21 here. So, 21 minus 20 by mass, that is 0.1 meter per second square. And here it is 25 minus 20 by 10, which is 0.5. And here it is 30 minus 20, 10 by mass is 10. So, 1 meter per second arc square, 1 meter per second. So, 1 meter per second square. So, this is the nature of friction. You have to observe how the friction is developing in a particular problem, whether it is static or kinetic. Check for the relative motion or the tendency for relative motion. They are very important. Let us solve a problem. This is a previous JEE question given in 2019 January. Let us read the question. A block kept on a rough inclined plane as shown remains at rest up to a maximum force 2 Newton down the inclined plane. The maximum external force up the inclined plane that does not move the block is 10 newtons. The coefficient of static friction between the block and the plane is. Now, understand the question properly. To solve friction problems, there is no particular method. We have to apply situational logic. So, understanding the question is very, very important. So, before that, let us quickly calculate the limiting friction value. So, the normal reaction developing will be perpendicular to the contact surface, the weight acting on the block mg, and we know how to resolve the weight along the normal direction and along the surface. This is mg sin theta and this will be mg cos theta. Now, what is the value of limiting friction here? It is mu into the normal reaction. The normal reaction here n is equal to mg cos theta, because the block does not have any acceleration along this line. If at all it slides, it will slide along the horizontal surface, but it is having no acceleration in this direction. So, n is equal to mg cos theta. So, limiting friction is now mu into n, which is mu mg cos theta. Now, let us look at the question. It remains at rest up to a maximum force of 2 Newton down the inclined plane is applied. So, even if 2 newtons are applied down the plane, it is remaining at rest. That means, what do you understand from this? This force mg sin theta down the plane, it is not sufficient to pull the block downwards, because the friction acting, limiting friction is of higher value. So, in this case, the friction will be mg sin theta. We should note that the mg sin theta is now less than the limiting friction value. That is what you understand from this. So, now 2 newtons are applied in downward direction. So, the free body diagram of the block will be mg sin theta, another 2 newtons, and up the inclined plane. Now, the friction acting at this surface, now it is equal to the limiting friction. Now, what does he say? The maximum force is 2 newtons. So, 2 newtons plus mg sin theta is just sufficient to exceed the friction value. If it is more than 2 newtons, it will start to slide. So, what do you write here? Mg sin theta plus 2 newtons, now they are equal to the limiting friction. So, this is our equation 1. The friction developing in this case will be upward in direction, up the plane. Why? Because it is trying to oppose the motion the block may get. The block wants to slide downwards, so the friction develops in such a way that it opposes that upwards. Now, another part, the maximum external force up the inclined plane that does not move the block is 10 newtons. Now, there is a force 10 Newton being applied here. In this case, let us draw the free body diagram. Along the plane, mg sin theta acts downwards, and this force is not sufficient to pull the block downwards because the force of friction is larger. The limiting friction is larger than this, but now he is pulling the block upwards. Let us read it again. Maximum external force up the plane that does not move the block is 10. So, that means if it exceeds 10 newtons, the block is actually moving upwards. This is the maximum external force. So, let us complete this figure by adding friction to this. How does the friction act in this particular case? The friction acting will be down the plane, because now the block is about to slip upwards. So, the friction tries to oppose that. So, friction acting will be downwards. Friction and mg sin theta are opposite to the force which is applied here. Now, if the force is sufficient to pull the block upwards, it is just equal to the downward forces. So, mg sin theta, and now the friction acting will be of the maximum value, which is limiting friction. Mg sin theta plus mu mg cos theta is equal to the maximum force, which is 10 newtons. So, this is our second equation. So, observe here, the force of friction is changing in direction. In one case it is acting upwards, in the other case it is acting downwards. So, let us solve these two equations. We have to calculate mu. So, from this, mg sin theta minus mu mg cos theta is equal to minus 2. And if you add these two equations, we have 2 mg sin theta 8, and mg is 8 by 2 sin theta. Theta is 30 degrees. So, this is 2 into 1 by 2. So, mg is 8 newtons. Okay. Now, subtract the first equation from the second equation. Mg sin theta cancels off. 2 mu mg cos theta equals 12 newtons. This gives you mu equals 6 by mg cos theta, but mg is 8 and cos theta is cos 30 degrees root 3 by 2. So, the friction is 4, 2 and it is root 3 by 2. This is the answer for the problem. Let us solve another problem now. This is also a previous JEE question given in 2019 April. So, let us read the question. Two blocks A and B of masses MA 1 kg, MB 3 kg are kept on the table as shown, one over the other. The coefficient of friction between A and B is 0.2 and between B and the surface is also 0.2. Now, we have two contact surfaces here. This is first one, this is second one. The coefficient of friction values are given, both are 0.2. The maximum force F that can be applied on block B horizontally, so that the block A does not slide over the block B. Now, the condition is that the block A must always be in contact with the block B. It should not slide over the block B. First of all, if the force applied is very small, such that the block B itself is not moving, then it cannot cause any motion in A. So, that means if you consider both blocks as one object, now our condition is that A does not slide over B. So, let us make an assumption here. It is not sliding over B. So, friction between A and B is sufficient to prevent any slipping. So, in such a case they will always move together. So, they can be considered as one system. So, let us draw the figure this way. Now, I will use dotted line here. They are two independent blocks, but because they are moving together, now I will identify this entire thing as one system. They have same acceleration. Now, the force applied is capital F In order to move this system, this force should exceed the friction which is obtained from the ground. So, if there is a friction acting on this system in opposite direction, the force should be larger than that value. Only then the blocks will move, they will have some acceleration, and then only there is a chance for A to slide. We have to check that condition. So, now you should understand that the force which is being applied is greater than the limiting friction which is at this contact surface. And what is the limiting friction value here? Let us quickly calculate limiting frictions. FL1 will be, that is mu MAG, we have calculated this earlier, mu 2 into weight of this block. So, this is 1 kg, 1 into 10, that is 2 newtons. Limiting friction for contact surface 2 is mu MA plus MB into G. So, total mass is 4 into 10, this gives you 8 newtons. So, the maximum friction that can develop at this contact surface is 2 newtons, and the maximum friction that can develop here is 8 newtons. So, now our force capital F should at least be 8 newtons in order to make the system move. So, it is larger than 8 newtons, that is what you should understand now. Now, let us say if it is greater than 8 newtons and the blocks start to move, they have an acceleration. Let us calculate that acceleration. So, in that case acceleration will be the net force F minus, in opposite direction, 8 newtons. The friction acting now will be the maximum value because it is in motion. When there is relative motion, the friction acting will be kinetic in nature, and the kinetic friction is always equal to the maximum value mu n. So, F minus 8 by the mass of the system is, now both blocks are taken as one system. So, the total mass is 1 plus 3 4. So, this would be the acceleration of the system. That means, acceleration of A will be equal to acceleration of B, and they are equal to F minus 8 by 4. Both blocks have the same acceleration. Now, let us isolate A in the figure and draw the free body diagram here. Now, we know that A is accelerating towards right with a certain acceleration F minus 8 by 4. How does the block A get this acceleration? What is the horizontal force which is acting on A? Yes, that is only the friction developed between the contact surfaces of A and B. It is only the friction on A that is moving the block towards right. So, the friction acting on A is towards right because it is causing the acceleration here, and it is static in nature. Why? Because the blocks are not sliding against each other. They have same acceleration, and the friction between A and B is often static in nature, because there is only tendency for relative motion here. A might slip, but for now they are moving together, and this value Fs according to second law should be equal to mass into acceleration. This is the only force. F net is equal to mass of A into acceleration of A. So, that is 1 into F minus 8 by 4. So, now this is the static friction that is developed here. Let us apply an inequality. We know that the static friction value is always less than or equal to the maximum friction value possible. Whatever the friction acting here must be less than the limiting friction. So, and that will be 2 newtons, and our Fs is F minus 8 by 4. It must be less than or equal to 2 newtons, and from this you get F is less than or equal to 16 newtons. So, for our assumption to be true, we have a condition here now. The capital F must be less than or equal to 16 newtons. That means, if the force applied here is less than 16 newtons, this will hold true. The friction between A and B will be sufficient and they will not slide, and that is what asked in the question. What is the maximum force F that can be applied on B horizontally so that the block A does not slide? So, for them to move together, the force should not exceed 16 newtons. So, answer will be 16 newtons here.